So good morning, everybody. Good morning, actually, from Southport, North Carolina. I'm here with Dr. Vos Terraz and, of course, our operations manager, Rafael Tamashiro, with all of our amazing XCulture students. I don't know who is from Academy and who's from University Track, but congratulations for surfacing to be among the top to do this presentation. I hope that you guys had a really successful experience this past semester. We're always anxious to know how your experience went. But today we're doing our final presentations, and I believe we have three, right, Rafael?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. What are the three?
Team 14B from Academy.
And what's the topic?
Greico.
Okay.
217B, we'll talk about differentiate. And
Okay.
178B, it will be XCulture Academy.
Okay, very good. So for those of you guys who can hear this webinar, go ahead and let us know where you're from. I'm typically from South Florida in Miami, but today I'm traveling. Good luck with your presentations. Dr. Vos, you have something to say?
Thank you so much for being brave enough to present. I know presenting always is a difficult experience, especially when you have to present online and especially when your team members are all around the world. So I hope it was not too much stress for you, but I know that's a good experience for sure. And having read your reports, I'm now eager to see your presentations. So thank you for being brave and working hard, and good luck with your presentations.
Yeah, thank you really much.
One more thing. Today, as we will have only 3 presentations, each team will have 10 minutes to speak, and we will open 5 minutes for a Q&A session, okay? Also,
Right,
if you're the next thing that you're going to present, by the end of the presentation, we will send a message through this chat, so asking for the next student. So please raise your hand as well, okay? So good luck for 14B, so you guys can start, okay?
All right. We'd now ask Isaac to share the screen so we can see the presentation. And I'm just going to go right ahead. Hello and welcome to our presentation of the report for our client company Greico. We are the team 14B, and we have our teammates Maria from Ukraine, Emilia from Colombia, Rina from Taiwan, Isaac from Taiwan, Peter from Canada, Colleen from Australia, and myself, Paul, from Germany. My colleague Arina is now starting. Oh, wait a second, I forgot the contents. We're just going to have 3 sections that we're going to talk about today. The first section is the market, that means the market shoes. The second section is the marketing, where we're going to talk about the different strategies to promote your company. And section 3 in the management, we're going to talk about the logistics and the chosen market entry mode. So I'm just going to give over to Rina that she can present you the market section.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why my computer, oh, sorry.
Okay, so hi, my name is Rina, and I will present you the industry and competition analysis. So we did a SWOT analysis, and I will just point out a few notable points that we included, such as the strengths. So Greico has a patent in their design of their machine, but for their weaknesses, Greico machines are not commercialized to lower down the cost, which means their machines are still comparatively high. But for the opportunities, Greico encourages people to recycle by incentivizing the collection of pure trash so people can resell their trash. And for their threats, there are different countries that have different regulations regarding recycling processes, which means it might complicate the process of selling machines to different countries. Next slide, please.
Okay.
And next is, oh, the slide before, sorry. Okay, next is our new market selection. So we chose Europe because first, as an Italian company, Greco already has a competitive advantage of expanding a country near its headquarters. So it's easier to expand near the headquarters because first it's cheaper and it's more accessible. And second, there are fewer trade barriers between each European nations, so it's easier to expand their market. And third, there is a big ESG trend in Europe that urges companies to become more responsible to change their company's direction in a more sustainable way. So this is the current big trend, which is why we chose Europe. Next, thank you.
All right, please go to the next slide. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm just going to do the competitors that we choose. We choose two companies that we see as a really, really dangerous competition for Greco. The first company is Aquafila, and especially their section Equinil. Equinil is a special part of this company, and they are recycling old fishing nets and old plastic waste into new clements. They use also an IA-based technology to recycle these things, and I think they get a really good product with their clothes and different types of textile. So they may be a really, really dangerous competitor. The second company we choose is Copam SRL. It's a company which designs recycling systems, and they also specialize them on different needs. You know, like if a company needs something different from recycling system, they build them that specially that they can use it for their own purpose. They are also really, really experienced in their field and a really dangerous competitor because they have a long experience in building recycling machines and creating recycling solutions for different companies and different types of waste they give out. Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Emilia, and Isaac and I will be presenting the marketing section. So, in terms of promotion channels, Greco should be marketed towards government officials. This is because of the nature of the product. It could be potentially dangerous if untrained civilians were to use it, and it should ideally be marketed towards an industrial scale because of the costs. And Greco should reach out to engineering and business conventions, which they have done. They recently took part in a green business exposition. This is because these types of events are melting pots of technology, and it would be a great way for Greco to differentiate themselves from the competition, and they naturally have media coverage, so it would be a great way for them to get their name out there. Please change the slide, Isaac. And in terms of the message, Greco has only created 4 prototypes in the past 3 years. If they had more, they could potentially send them out to end buyers, and we could have them test the prototypes. But since they don't have that, the best way to demonstrate the functionality is through engineering conventions and business expositions. And the slogan, one of the slogans we came up with is that investing in Greco is investing in a greener future. And this company and their product should be marketed as a futuristic solution to a present problem.
So, hi, my name is Isaac, and now I'll talk about the second part of the message, which is the slogan and name. So the slogan that our team created is make waste useful. And we think that this slogan is very effective because first, it's very memorable, and second, it correlates directly with the purpose of the product. And the message that we created is by making waste useful, we create a cleaner environment and brighter future for our next generation. Our team would like to make 2 different suggestions when it comes to promoting the product. First is to add actual statistics and data to support the evidence that Greco may make a change. For example, if we say Greco reduces waste volume by more than 90% and transforms waste into secondary raw material, which can be reused in industrial processing, it presents an attractive factor of why people should buy Greco and not other companies' product. And in our humble opinion, we think that the name Greco is not very memorable. So the second suggestion that we would like to make is to modify the company's name. Okay. And this is the promotional material that our team make, which is the brochure. And on the left page, it contains important information about the company and the product. So on the left page, we can see that we contain the slogan and also a short description of what Glyco can do, and also the contact information. And on the right page, we contain the problems that Glyco strives to solve, and also an explanation about what Glyco actually is and what it can do, and also the design of the machine itself.
Yep, so Paul and I will be presenting section 3 management, and since we're short on time, I'll try to keep it brief. All right, could you go to the next slide? Cool. So to transform their prototypes into commercial products, Glyco can first of all verticalize their recycling technology. And what that means is partnering with perhaps a coffee company to produce a machine that recycles coffee capsules. So they can receive funding to produce the machine from their partner or sell the patent to their partner so that the partner can commercialize it. Secondly, they can also partner with local manufacturers and generate income via royalties. And then finally, Glyco could export to local distributors in the European recycling markets. And that gives Glyco direct and immediate access to a target audience in the recycling market. And can we go? Yep, thanks. Partnering with local businesses is advantageous because Glyco can tap into their experience, infrastructure, and logistics. And the partners can help Glyco navigate the regulations and laws regarding trade and supply of machinery. And additionally, Glyco might be able to circumvent some restrictions that are placed on foreign companies. And Glyco will also have access to their partners' industry certifications. And the only downside would be less control. So Glyco would have to be quite explicit and careful when writing the contract. And on the next slide, Paul will talk about the logistics.
Exactly. For the logistics, you have to think about that the transport is really expensive because we have really fragile and complex technical systems, and they need a lot of safety precautions to get really safely transported over the border. The next thing we have to think about is the EU requirements for safety and health of humans in nature. That means the products you sell over the border need to be checked of these requirements and if they fulfill them. The next thing is that every EU customer needs to have the same access. That means if you sell it in one EU country, the other countries also have an access for that. And it means also your website, for example, has to be in all the language accessible. Isaac, could you please go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you very much. These are some special dates that you need to give your institutions to deliver the goods over the border. For example, in Italy, we have 400,000 euros as a threshold for the export in Italy. If you go over that, you have to report it to the institutions. You also need to deliver a lot of data to export your goods. For example, the VAT number on the reference period, also the net weight quantity, and how many goods you want to let go over the border. Generally to say is that the logistic part is pretty complicated, and yeah, there's a lot of data you need to report to the institutions. Yeah, this was our presentation, and now it's your time to ask us some questions.
Very interesting. Can I go first? Is that okay? So extremely impressive that you chose this not easy company. It is a company that makes an industrial product and not a consumer product. And I noticed that most of the teams tend to choose companies that make familiar products, such as maybe food or clothing. So a recycling machine, that's not something many people have seen in their life, let alone developed a market for the expert before you have to report it to the authorities. You talked about partnerships, you talked about partnering with local companies, partnering with coffee pod makers and things like that. So just the breadth of your of the topics and issues that you touched upon shows me that you had a very productive semester and probably a very busy semester. So going into all of those different areas and doing your research and coming up with ideas must have taken a lot of time and effort. And I sure hope that you learned a lot in the process. In terms of the specific ideas, I really like that you thought, well, let me put it this way. I shouldn't be saying that I really liked, but I share with you the concern here. Like, for example, I too have some reservations about the company name. I know where it came from, so it's a combination of the words, if I remember correctly, green and recycling, so glycol, so recycle, but it's sort of hard to pronounce. I wasn't sure if it should be glycol or glycol. So it's interesting that you noted that too, and you recommended a new name. At the same time, I wish you provided suggestions for a new name. We did have a company in the past that changed the company name because of XCulture's suggestions. So there was a company called Unplag, Unplag. So a company that was specializing in plagiarism. And so many teams said that, no, that name doesn't sound very good. And the company changed the name to Unicheck, which it carries now. So in your case, you identified the problem, but you did not provide a solution. So I wish you did. Likewise, you, for example, said it would be a good idea to partner with local companies. Great idea, but in your presentation, you didn't mention if you identified any potential partner companies. I hope you did. Maybe it's in the report. I'm actually scrolling up and down here, but I didn't have the time to read it carefully now. But again, it would have been even more convincing if you said it. And we found 3 companies that potentially could work with glycol, and here are the examples. So I did like very much your new slogan or suggested slogan: make waste useful, short, memorable, and to be honest, sounds very industrial. And so some people may say, oh, it's not catchy enough or not fun enough for a marketing campaign. But I think it's actually a genius solution, because the advertisement will be going not to consumers, but to industrialists, to people who manage factories or, industrial equipment. And I will not be surprised if this sort of dry, precise, exact, informative slogan, make waste useful, will actually very much appeal to their senses and to their values. So I'd say a big kudos on that. And if I may ask one question here, so I noticed that you had people from Ukraine, Colombia, Taiwan, Canada, Australia, Germany, very international. You have pretty much every continent represented, or almost every continent represented on your team. So what was the biggest challenge for you working together? What was your biggest barrier? Well, I guess you did provide a successful report, so I guess the barrier was not big enough, but still, what was the issue that you had to struggle most as a team?
Before they answer your question, I will start a poll so everyone can vote for the presentation, okay?
Oh, my apology. Yes.
No problem. So guys, remember that this team is an under 18 students, so don't be that harsh on them, okay? So how was the presentation? And Emilia can answer your question, but can you guys please vote? Emilia?
I think the hardest part of our team, I think, was meeting up for the weekly meetings, I think, because Carlene would be up till like 3 in the morning, and I was up really early, and then Isaac wouldn't be able to connect. Then Paul would have to leave early, and we wanted to have these really concrete sessions where we'd be able to talk about all of our problems, and it was really, really hard to do that. But I think all in all, we had quite good communication, and the fact that most of us are here presenting today is
So Emilia, you're telling me that you had weekly live meetings?
Yeah, I mean, we started out that way, but in the end, I mean, people had finals and stuff, so it was hard to
Impressive.
connect.
Yeah. I looked at the data. Most teams have some live meeting, obviously, but weekly, that's quite impressive, actually. Very good.
Is there any other question? We have time for one more question.
Hang on, Raphael. Voss, are you able to vote?
I'm not able to vote.
Yeah, so Raphael, I just need you to unmake us as hosts.
Co-hosts, yeah, it wouldn't let us vote.
Yeah, so just take us off as hosts so that we can vote.
But we do have quite a few votes, so I think our 2 will not make much difference.
Okay.
So I see we have two people raising their hands, and I wonder, are those questions, Rafael, are we allowing questions from the audience? Or those are people eager to do their presentations?
I think it's for the presentation. If you guys have any questions, please send your question in the Q&A session or in the chat, okay? Alice, next.
So can I make a comment? Because Dr. Voss basically hit on everything that I wanted to comment on. And I was really wowed by your make waste useful slogan. I think that that's a really catchy, it's almost like a palindrome, right? Waste, use. And I almost can imagine or envision kind of like a nice logo graphic to go with that. So kudos on that. I also enjoyed the interaction between the different cultures, but that you guys basically harmonized it. It was like as if you guys were speaking like one person, but clearly of different, cultures and time zones. So I feel like you guys practiced a lot, and that you even worked on your timing. Yes, I see two girls smiling. What's the commentary on that?
You can tell they did some rehearsals, that's true.
Carlene and Amelia, I see the both of you smiling. So what's the commentary?
Yep, definitely. We worked coherently as a team. I mean, our first group meeting was not even productive. We just caught up with each other, well, like got to know each other. And I think that's why we work so well.
Yeah, I can just see the jive, right? The synchronicity is there. It was like the tempo is there. How Paul would be like, okay, your turn, Carlene, okay, Amelia. It was just, it's a very smooth transition from one slide to the other. And that's commendable from young people who are in different, continents. Yeah. I also liked how your presentations, even though I'm sure that you took sections of it, that it did jive together. So, and that's a hat trick to do for young people. I mean, you kind of expect that of them, but you guys to be, college bound. Are you guys what, 16, 17? Anybody younger than 16, 17? No. Okay. So you guys are about 6. So I think that just seeing the work that you've done, being in different continents at your, level of education, that's something that I would expect from my juniors and seniors in college. So kudos on that. Congratulations.
Can I ask you one more question, please? So I can't help but notice that one of your team members seems to be missing. Maria, is she just not able to join the presentation, or did she not participate much in the project itself?
I mean, she lives in Ukraine, so I think she has, different things she has to focus on. So it was really problematic for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I defend Maria through and through, but she and I talked a lot throughout the project, and we would talk frequently, and she would always ask me what needed to be caught up on, and she asked me what she could help with and stuff, but obviously her priorities were in different places.
So you had that extra layer of complexities, one student in a country that is in a war. So I guess complicated things, but also hope again gave you a perspective on the additional complexities of global virtual collaboration.
What was the best things? I mean, Dr. Voss asked about what were the challenges, but what best memories are you going to take with this experience?
I'm sorry, guys, but we need to move on. Maybe the students can answer questions in the chat.
Put it on the chat, guys. Yeah. Put it in the chat because I want to know. Okay, bye. It was a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, guys. There is also 2 more questions for you in the chat, so please answer that. Okay, we are running out of time. So thank you. It's just a list for next presentation.
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm from team 217.
Okay.
I guess also one of my team members, Oliver McCarthy, should join the meeting.
What's the name? Can you repeat, please?
Oliver McCarthy.
Oh, I can see. Wait a minute. I will promote him as a panelist, so you guys can start. Okay. Hello, Oliver. Can you hear? Can you hear us? Okay. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. Do you guys have a slide presentation? Feel free to share.
Yes, I can share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, you guys can start. Okay.
One second. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are doing Differ Chat, group 217, and we'll be looking at Differ Chat through the lenses of a competitive user base, marketing, and management. So pretty much the main problem point here is that in the United States alone and around the world, depression is high among college students. In the United States alone, there are 250,000 suicide attempts each year, with one sense of belonging being the main catalyst in this situation. And Differ Chat is trying to change that among college students especially. And they offer an online platform that serves as an intermediary for students to test the waters before they decide if they want to give their phone number up. A lot of college students are shy and they have access to platforms like Facebook and WeChat. However, you actually need to conversate with somebody before you get their number for that, which is hard, especially if you're in a big university as a freshman or someone without many friends. Differ Chat also possesses a feature to aid students with finding study buddies or getting help with social problems. And they have a feature in the chat called Bo, which is a social chat bot that actually is the intermediary with students and helps them form relationships with each other so they don't necessarily have to go about it alone. Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, Zoom, these are all competitors of Differ Chat. However, there's nothing quite in this intermediary state. We want to look at the use of Differ Chat in China specifically because companies like Facebook and WeChat, Zoom are not actually able to use their platforms in China. And China is a huge market. The universities are huge. They have 180 top ranked universities. And as I said before, they don't have these platforms for students to normally connect with each other. In Europe and the United States, there already are platforms, but we think that we can actually help Differ Chat penetrate the Chinese market. Alice, if you want to continue going.
Okay, so those are the universities that we have selected as possible clients. And within those universities, the figures that play an important role in the decision-making about the possibility of purchasing our client service are the chancellor of the university and the university's board of directors. In order to reach them, we believe that the best solution will be to add the university's contact to a specific mailing list. And it is important to emphasize the benefits that the application will have to the university. In particular, Differ will have to stress the positive effects on the well-being of students that the app could have. the impact that feeling of belonging to a community will have on universities' dropout rates, and the reducing of a number of emails sent to the university's administration by students, because the students will find the information they need inside DifferChat. The company campaign should be focused on what makes DifferChat unique. So as Oliver said, the chatbot Bo and the ability of the app to help students breaking the ice and empowering the feeling of being part of a community. In order to promote DifferChat, we have created this flyer. It can be distributed in universities in paper form, but it can also be mailed to a list of recipients that could comprise both new students, including international students, and also the university staff. The flyer is focused on Bo as a mediator between students. The information is provided in the form of chat messages in order to make it explicit that it is an informal space. The image of the word on the background wants to represent one of the main goals of Differs, which is the aim of creating a wider community and a stronger inclusion. And it is also important to notice that it is not only a chat room for virtual interactions, but that it translates to meeting friends in real life. To convince potential clients, we also believe that it is crucial to put universities in front of the problem that our client wants to face, which is the growing sense of loneliness felt by students, as well as other mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and social anxiety that seems to be on the rise among college students. And for this reason, we have thought about the possibility of providing a list of contacts of support for mental health and well-being, so that students needing help will be able to find the contact of a specialist inside the app. We have also thought about other solutions. For example, in order to empower inclusivity, we believe that it will be a good idea to make this service available in more languages, starting from the most spoken languages in the selected universities area, which are the Mandarin, which is also the second most widely spoken language in the world, and the Hu dialect. To make the chat room even safer, we suggest a system for blocking other users in cases of cyberbullying, stalking, or other inappropriate behaviors. To make the app even more functional and also to improve retention of students, we have thought about providing students with some additional information, such as administrative information or accommodations for students, transports and discounts, and so on. And finally, to enhance the functionality of DifferChat, DifferChat might also consider a collaboration with Blackboard, which is an educational technological service company that already works with many universities around the world, and that allows a better connection with different administrative systems. This solution will also have the positive effect of improving retention of students that will find, as I said, inside the app the information they need. And increased retention could also affect the pricing model, allowing DifferChat to implement more advantageous pricing policies for its clients. And in particular, we are thinking about discounts for returning customers for universities that purchase the service for several consecutive years. Both prices for even larger volumes than the current volume discount for more than 5,000 students, using WeChat as a system for receiving payments from Chinese universities. And also as a consequence of improved retention, Differ could also think about offering a discount for universities that succeed in getting more students to register in DifferChat, such, for example, a 10% discount for every 100 new students. And obviously the discount will be only applied to the amount paid to enroll those new students. So improved retention means that more users will be in DifferChat, because not only new students, but also students already enrolled in university will benefit from the services offered by DifferChat. Thank you for the attention.
Very interesting. Again, is it okay if I go first? Or Rafael, do we need to vote first or questions first?
Yes, I will start the poll and you can ask the questions. That's
okay,
fine.
Let's start the poll and I'll ask the questions then. So one interesting observation first is I noticed that your PDF file, so your written file, is very dry when it comes to graphics. So it's basically only text. So very sort of precise, no distracting graphics or pictures. It's all very, very text oriented. Yet your presentation live here has a lot of bright colors and a lot of bright graphics and pictures. So that's an interesting contrast, and it probably should be that way. So I really enjoyed the form, the style of your presentation. Now, in terms of your specific suggestions and proposals, so I really liked your idea of partnering with Blackboard. You probably could have also mentioned Canvas and Moodle and perhaps other learning management systems. That's a very, very good idea. And I also liked that you guys started your presentation with a little review of the company, so which the previous team didn't do. So I know the companies, obviously, but some of the people in the audience perhaps needed a little overview of what the client company does. And you started very effectively with a little overview of that. So very good. I also like very much that you had some potential clients, a list of universities. And I have sort of a couple of questions related to that. So one, you did identify, it looked like about what, like 8 or 9 universities that potentially might be interested in using your client's product. Did you try to talk to those universities, whether or not they would be interested in adopting a tool, an app like this? And a related question is, so you proposed China as the destination, as the new market. And from what I know, China is extremely protective of their sort of cyberspace, informational space. I know that even companies such as Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Skype, for that matter, have a very hard time, or Zoom even, have a very hard time being present in China. It seems like the Chinese government prefers to use their own electronic communication tools for whatever reason. And so there are many theories, but including perhaps maybe being able to control those communications. And so I do agree with you completely that China would be a very promising market for a company like this, for an app like this, you know, over 1 billion people total, probably hundreds of millions of students. So almost unlimited growth opportunities. But I wonder if this sort of legal or government regulation side of business might potentially be an impediment for a company that provides essentially a communication tool. So did you think about that aspect? And if you did talk to your potential partner universities, what did they say? Or if you talked maybe to some of the students, any answers to that question?
Okay, yes, we have not actually contacted those universities. In our report, we have provided a list of contact to email to them, but we have not contacted them. And for the second question, yes, but DiffChat will have to work with the university. Also for what concern the additional information and all the services that DiffChat can provide, they would have to work with the universities, the Chinese universities. So it will be a partnership. So I don't think that it will be a problem, because it will be like a customization of the product, of the service with the Chinese universities.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. I'm not sure if they will try China, but if they will, I would be very curious to see if the sort of the governmental regulations, written and maybe sometimes unwritten, if they would be a challenge. So it is definitely a promising market, I give you that. So it'd be interesting to see how it would go.
Can I just contribute to that? So the infrastructure that Dr. Voss is talking about is called the Great Firewall. Mm-hmm. And China has this political model where they have what they call a social credit system. Mm-hmm. The social credit system basically monitors the behaviors of all its citizens, whether it's paying your bills or jaywalking on the street or trying to use VPNs, which is illegal in China. And these social credit systems are used to monitor the behaviors of all of its citizens. And they're also very particularly interested in universities and young people. The challenge with the concept of using China as your new market is that the Chinese have a tendency to replicate Western technology and adapt it to Chinese culture that can also be controlled and integrated into the Great Firewall so that they can utilize it to manage the social credit system. So it's a much bigger governmental problem than just the university level. And remember too that universities in China are CCP controlled, so the Chinese Communist Party controlled. And having things like a social media infrastructure is almost like a governmental decision as opposed to a university decision. So I just want to, give you a heads up on that. They are not free to make those kinds of decisions as we are. Part Chinese, by the way.
That's great information. We really appreciate that. I think it also just goes to, for us, I think, how expendable Bo is and how special that technology is. If we can get something like the Bo chatbot into China through DifferChat, that would be a success any way you can do it. But we do appreciate that feedback and we take note of it.
And if they do break in, so given that the competition probably would be limited, it actually might be a very, very promising market from that perspective.
And your problem of college student problem of depression, suicide, that is huge in Asia. That is huge, only because the pressure to excel and to exceed is, you think it's bad, in America or European families. In Asia,
Oh yeah.
if you don't succeed, you might as well, because it's saving faith, right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Thank you very much for the presentation. I will start to ask the other team to come up. Team 178, please. Can you please start raising your hand? Thank you, Alice and Oliver.
Thank you.
And Rafael and Leilani, could you put in chat your votes? I will add that to the total tally for the second presentation.
Oh, you are doing, that's why you're asking.
Yes. I'm keeping track of all the votes so that we can show the results at the end. All right.
Could you please allow us to share our screen?
Sorry. Yes. Can you do it now?
Yes.
University track or academy track?
Academy.
Are we from different tracks? Good day, we are from team 17-8. Our team selected XCulture Academy as the client company, and we are here to present the breakdown of our recommendations and findings. Our team consisted of 5 people. Mia Gallo from US, Melissa Lopez from US, Tulio Faria from Brazil, Kushi Wohra from India, who is also my co-presenter today and the maker of this presentation, and me, Victoria Zsolnayova from Slovakia. I believe we are quite familiar with this one, but to present the company, since 2010, XCulture has been working in collaboration with many universities to run its program of international experiential learning. And XCulture Academy is the track for pre-college teens, ages 10 to 17, and non-student professionals. For the purpose of expanding the program on a larger scale, we need to first look at the market analysis. XCulture Academy is an e-learning provider, and as the industry is further divided into various categories, XCulture Academy is most closely associated with the reskilling and online certification markets. There is no denying that the e-learning market is booming, especially in the light of the global health crisis.
There are similar competitors to the program within the industry across the world. We have discussed a few, like FutureLearn, which is one of Europe's leading online learning providers. They are based in the UK and their company is still in its early stages. Another company that falls into the competitive field of XCulture Academy is Udemy. It is similar to XCulture in a way that it does not exist just within one university, but rather is run by professional experts, and it also provides 2,500 different types of courses and trainings. Penpal Schools is a different company that allows students from ages 8 to 18 to enroll in a program where it offers topics such as schools around the world, facts, opinions, fake news, and more. Lastly, e-learning for kids founding dreams is a free and fun digital educational experience for children ages 5 to 12 on the internet anywhere without any charges. Let's now learn about our program's SWOT. First up are the strengths. Students get professional development and international business experience at a low cost, simultaneous experience with more than one nationality, works with cases from real companies, letter of recommendation helps to build up their profile. Weaknesses include high give-up rate from the participants, the trading model is easy to imitate, the program being offered in English language only, and no personal contact because of the online format. What are the opportunities? There is a great scope of expansion because of a large target audience, new partnerships, and lowering of cost, which would allow people with low income to join too. Moving on to the threats, the program works with participants from different nationalities, so it requires a very wide presence. Free online courses getting more popular could result in loss of participants. Recruitment and retention of students and faculty is a matter of concern.
After shortlisting countries based on several parameters, as our English proficiency index, collaborative problem-solving score, household internet access, GDP per capita, market size, we came to the conclusion that the Netherlands would be the most promising new market for the program. Important specifics of the market are that the Dutch are very avid users of social media, but they tend to ignore commercial messages on them. Being a very international nation with a relatively easier time getting accepted into choosing universities, we made sure to build the later parts of our recommendation on the practical training and community building side of the program. Promotional channels will be how the XCulture Academy program will be advertised to capture and convert participants. Here we recommended direct referral channels as well as social media and magazine marketing. The first channel that we recommend is school campaigns. Firstly, we could reach out to schools directly via email, and if they are interested, a former XCulture participant could share their experience either in the schools or via email. But if they seem hesitant, working with local agencies can be a viable option too. As per the referral program already in place for XCulture, we thought it would be nice to add 2 more questions to the final survey. And the first question would be that the students could nominate someone from their group as the person who is most fit for the position. And in the other question, we would ask the person whether they are interested in the role.
For promotion via social media, WhatsApp being the most popular social media app in the Netherlands, we recommend adding a WhatsApp account for communication of ads aimed at non-student professionals.
On this slide, you can see the estimated price of the proposed channel. As XCulture expressed that they are looking for alternative social media advertising, as they are users of Instagram and Facebook ads. We chose LinkedIn advertising and influencer marketing on YouTube and TikTok. On most influencer-related advertising options, we didn't get a reply from the influencers management, so we used the averages found online. As per the LinkedIn advertising, we use the site's built-in cost forecasting. Here we use targeting mostly aimed at young professionals and job seekers. In the Netherlands, ages 18 to 34, and the prices would be a little higher if you are trying to reach senior executives.
Ways to Study and Peter Hofnagel's YouTube channels and Nikki De Jager's TikTok account, Nikki Tutorials, can be approached for influencer marketing. Recently, XCulture wanted to provide a sample course for those interested in the e-learning program. It would be great to create a week-long program for students 10 to 17 years old. It would consist of constant communication and collaboration with their partners from other countries for 7 days. Those 7 days would give each team time to pick a topic based on their education level, deconstruct the work and assign parts, create a presentation and present to the class their chosen topic, and introduce the students they worked with. We suggest the slogan XCulture Academy for the International Future as the message. We have also attached the graphics that can be posted on various social media platforms for promotion.
Partnerships would be the most suited method of entry into the proposed market. Influencer marketing agency, British School of Amsterdam, and International Education Fair Netherlands should be approached for this purpose. For payment options, we recommend adding Wise, formerly known as TransferWise. It offers one of the best rates of money transfer, and it's even better than some of the payment methods that XCulture currently provides.
To widen the availability of the program, we suggest implementing volume pricing, a payment plan depending on the number of students enrolled. We suggest prices be raised to $300 so as to cover cost per individual, and if students enroll in groups of 3 or more, with each increase in students, the price it would cost per person goes down by $50 until the price per person hits $100. Then it does not go down any further. We have found a few organizations where XCulture Academy qualifies on applying to gain funding for their growth and opportunities. Here's a list. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.
Wow, that's a lot of information to think about. So, Dr. B, do you want to go first since it's your jurisdiction, or can I go with my many questions?
No, because you already did the first two.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I have so many questions. So first of all, thank you. What happened to your other teammates?
They are working right now.
Okay. Are you guys college students? Or, I mean, I asked if you were academy, but you guys seemed a little older. Are you college students or?
Yes.
You're college students? Okay.
And they are from the professional track, that's why.
Oh my God, I have so many questions. Okay, first of all, Louisa, raise your hand. Clap, clap, wave or something. So Louisa is actually Dutch, and she is actually studying in Amsterdam, and she was with us as an academy student when she was in high school. So it's interesting that you're doing this presentation to us, and Louisa is here listening to you. Okay, so first, let me just give you a compliment on the way that you structured your presentation. It was very well organized. I liked how you stayed true to the academy theme of, like young people under the age of 18. I think it was fun. It's something attractive to younger people. I mean, as a mom, I know that I gravitated to, when they were younger, to that kind of graphics and design. So thank you for that. Did you guys get a price analysis to the competitors? Because I noticed that you did do kind of like a global search on competitors, but I didn't get a price comparison. What did you think about our competitive pricing versus the other organizations that you reviewed?
We mostly just set pricing on the ones that were for free. But we did look at the others too, and we do think that the current pricing of, if we understand it right, the pricing can depend whether or not it's like a whole school. The school pays a fee, and that's the fee for all the participants from the school. And we do think that it's quite unique, and it is the perfect pricing strategy for a program like this.
Okay, so we're in the ballpark with our pricing, is what you're saying. Yeah.
They
Okay,
seem to suggest
so-
a slight increase from what I see, but then with a progressive drop for the group size.
Right,
So it will be probably
right,
close
right.
to what we charge anyway.
Yeah, so it would be close, because that was always a question, right? Because pricing, I think, is always a hardship for so many people in the world. But at the same time, we need to maintain our, we need to be affordable, but at the same time, we need to be able to grow and pay our staff. Then you also talked about the WhatsApp social media as another platform of advertising. So how does that actually work?
It's mostly just built into other types of advertising as a content, as a contact, as a way to contact, like the email, because I'm here the second time. And the first time I was with XCulture, we had this problem of all the emails going to spam, and through the university email, it's not coming to us. And we thought it would be great if even on the advertisements, XCulture provided WhatsApp contact as a business WhatsApp account.
So yes, can I ask about that? Because you mentioned advertisement on social media like TikTok, like LinkedIn, so that we know. So we know how to place ads there, how it would work. But you also said advertise via WhatsApp. And so does WhatsApp allow ads like, like picture ads, or would it be sort of like ads by mailing out messages, or how would it work with WhatsApp? This is interesting. I didn't know you could advertise in WhatsApp. So.
By mailing out, because WhatsApp does not yet have that function to advertise there. So,
but do they allow us to sort of acquire a mailing list? Like whom would let's say I would like to advertise via WhatsApp in the Netherlands. So can I get like a list of potential clients, or they allow me to sort of mail out my ads? Or so how would I know whom to contact with my information?
From second-party companies, we did find some, but we didn't really get a response from them in time to be able to put it in the report.
So, but there are companies that can sort of sell us the mailing lists or
Yes.
distribute the messages on our behalf. This is interesting. I didn't even know that it exists.
Yeah. And then I'm also interested in one of the other suggestions that you had. You talked about the International Educations Fair in the Netherlands. So is that for high school students, college students? Is it supported? So it's just for teachers?
No, I'm asking or teachers.
Oh, or teachers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that fair?
It's for college students.
It's for college students. Ah, okay. So, and Academy is really for college-bound students and then professionals. Okay, so which you guys are on the professional track. So I'm super excited because we are actually going to do it's not a division, but it's a division, right? we're going to divide academy from professionals, and professionals is going to be a standalone. And in fact, we're in a meeting about that right now. Me, Rafael, we're going back and forth on a schedule. But the idea is that professionals would be a solo standalone program. And then once that is an individual entity, then we create new programming or new activities that support professionals. How do you feel about that idea?
We think that's great, because the program for teens and college going students being different is a great idea.
Mhm.
We also think that it would be interesting to include more technical skills in the professional track.
Technical skills like learning how to write resumes, learning how to interview for jobs. And another activity that we were thinking of hosting, because you guys are older, is like learning how to drink wine and to pick the grapes that go with the wine. I was trying to teach Dr. Voss this weekend. It's over his head.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we need to get into the skill of drinking alcohol. It would be a good addition to our skill set, but
No. We just need to learn the different wines that go with the grape.
Dr. Bauman has visited here with me in Greensboro for a few days. And I tell you, when you go to a restaurant with her, like when I order wine, I just say white or red. That's my knowledge. That's it. And Dr. B knows, like, by name and by country and by region. And if you buy this Cabernet Sauvignon Manamé, you know, you have to get it from New Zealand and not from California, because like, whoa. So she really can impart the skill of ordering the alcohol drinks, you know, at the sophisticated.
Yeah. So we're not teaching you guys how to be a drinker. We're teaching you guys how to be sophisticated. Okay. So that's the point.
Yeah. How did we regress to a discussion about
I don't know,
in the presentation?
because it involves wine.
I have a couple questions, if I may. Also, so one, you mentioned try to talk to schools, so basically advertise bio schools, recruit schools. Did you guys try to talk to any schools?
Yes.
And so what was the response? Because we have a lot of interest, but they never know what to do with XCulture, how to fit it into the curriculum. What did you hear from the schools you talked to?
We had that little program that we reached out to all the schools that we recommended in the marketing section, but it was quite late and around the Easter time. So we didn't receive any feedback from that yet, but we did send them the XCulture website also. So maybe they will reach out that way.
Yeah, because we too believe that working with schools would be more efficient. But despite their very positive responses to our presentations, they not always know how to incorporate XCulture in the school curriculum. And so that's why most of the applicants we see actually come from individual applicants, not from schools, although we do have some schools. Another question I have, could you please elaborate on your suggestion to have that sample program a whole week long?
Oh, yeah.
Because we always thought about maybe more like 1 hour session as a sample. And here you say 1 week, which is almost, it's much shorter than the XCulture program itself, but it's a long program. It's like almost a program in and of itself. Can you tell us more about how you imagine it would go?
It was actually one of our teammates' idea. So we are really just talking on her behalf, but
I'll need to take a look. Then I see your report. The actual PDF file is much more detailed than what could be jammed into a 10-minute presentation. Like I see like the SWOT analysis, you had the separate analysis for each of the competitors, very informative, like side-by-side comparisons, very good. I also see you have a whole section on funding. So in the presentation, you only said these are possible funding institutions, but there is very in-depth analysis of each of them. So I'm going to read it more carefully. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Do we have the final results so you can share and we can end?
So Dr. B and Raphael, can you send me your votes for the last presentation so I can add them to the total? And then let me see where are your comments? Okay, I see. So, okay, I have the results. I'll share them now. We actually have a tie. So this is the results table. Can you see my screen?
Yes, but maybe you can get the
Did I do
image.
it wrong?
Should we do a
bigger.
tiebreaker? You want to do a
So
tiebreaker?
yes, so these are the results. I have here the votes for in each category. And so we actually have 4.2 for the first and the second team. So all teams did relatively well, but it is a tie. So I don't know how we're going to go about that. So, but that's the result. So do we have a tie, or do we want to have some sort of a face-off, you know, final question, final recommendation to break the tie, or ask team to
Well, can we just have two winners? Is that possible?
I
and
think so.
that's sorry, it's 178. I missed one.
I think we can have that type. That's not a problem.
Tie, or ask team 217 to decide who the winner is, or I don't know. But yeah, I suppose we could have a tie.
No. Let's just have, Raphael, can we have two winners?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, let's have two winners, Dr. Voss.
All right, so then it's two winners this time. So team 14 and team 178. So both got the same average score from the audience, from the judges. So I guess we have a tie. But in any case, we will be sending the finalist certificates to all three teams. So from a very large number of teams, you guys made it to the finals, so to speak. So that's a big deal. So that's not losing, that's, you know, being better than the other 1,000 teams already. So
exactly.
But yeah, that's the first time that we have the precisely same number for the winners.
So Dr. Voss, exactly how many teams competed for?
Let me see, maybe if we get, so if we go into the decimals, so it's 4.19 versus 4.17. I'm not sure if it's close enough. So it's two 100s difference. Probably it's a tie. So I wouldn't go into like four.
Let's just,
we need to get to the fourth decimal to start seeing a difference.
Yeah. So let's just keep it at that. Will be a tie.
But
this is
yes,
out
the
of
overall number of
1,000
teams. So we had about 715, if I remember correctly, in the late track, and about 320 in the early track. So it's about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 total. So, and then, so yes, then not every team was sort of brave enough to try to present, but then we got quite a few presentations up submissions. And then our wonderful coaches looked at the samples, and from that they selected the teams that had the best. And so, and the three that made to the finals, you see them here on the screen.
So again, if you do a comparative, right, that those three teams out of 1,000 actually surfaced to the top, right? Because you guys.
So we'll send the certificates to all three with the special note to the two that were in a tie.
Exactly. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
All right. Well then, congratulations, everyone. Any maybe questions, comment, observations from the audience at this time? I see we have here quite a few people from the teams that were not presenting. So thank you guys for being here with us. But any other questions, comments, suggestions, recommendations? Dr. B, do you want to say a couple of words? So we spent a few days talking about all kinds of strategic plans, but including the XCulture Symposia. So we are very serious and determined, and we have plans for the 3 next meetings. Again, still need to reconfirm the dates.
So,
but,
let's talk about, I think, what everybody is interested in knowing this particular group, and that is the Global Business Week, right? The Global Symposium. So again, still not definitive. We are still in kind of limbo because, you know, you guys know that there's a war going on in Europe. The pandemic is still kind of out there. I think it's going to be permanently out there, but you know, some countries are still experiencing a little surge. So really, we still are in the wait and see mode. However, organizations are already making plans and we follow suit. And the organization that we follow is the Academy of International Business World. So in 2023, which is going to be the year that we reignite Global Business Week, AIB World will be in Krakow, Poland. So we will be in search of a university and a wonderful faculty partner who will host our 200 students somewhere in the vicinity of Krakow, Poland. So, and that could be Poland, that could be Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. We actually have conversations about Greece. And we're going to be putting out a search and asking universities to apply. So just keep in mind that, again, this is all pending the geopolitical situation, the health situation around the world, but that the circle of search we're going to be looking for is within 500 miles in the vicinity of Krakow, Poland. Okay, so that's 2023.
Don't forget this year, so the Panama City, Florida.
Oh, yes,
yes.
Yeah, so I forgot about that because that's not the one that I manage, but okay.
Yes, but most likely, so we'll be meeting again with the Academy of International Business.
I will be there. Yeah.
But so in November, so we'll likely
October,
have this, end of October or early November. I need to check the dates. But it will be a smaller group, so it's only 50 students. So to begin, just after the pandemic and everything, but in collaboration with the Academy of International Business, the Southeast USA chapter, as we always do. So we plan to have our first post-pandemic face-to-face meeting in Panama City, in Florida, in the United States, and then in Europe, and then in Asia the year after.
Yeah. So the one in October will be hosted by Florida State University. So it's really a great opportunity for those of you guys who want to see what an American university looks like and get to experience what, even though we're not going to actually be in the university, we'll be at a beach hotel resort area, but you'll get the vibe of the Florida State University community. 2024, I think we're already kind of set in stone. That will be in Asia. So for those of you who are in Asia and are thinking about doing either 23 or 24, and you know, maybe price averse to go to Europe, but you know, keep in mind that we will be coming to Asia in 2024, and we do a 3-year look back. So even if you are doing XCulture this year and don't want to go to Europe next year, we will still invite you, again, 3-year look back, maybe to go to Asia. And we will be in Chiang Rai, Thailand, potentially. Again, not set in stone yet. We got to take a look at what the geopolitical situation and health situation is going on around the world. But those are the 3 locations, right? Academy of International Business Southeast, October of this year is set in stone. Those invitations will be going out soon. So if you would like to be among 50 seats, there are only 50 seats, make sure that you apply right away.
Yeah, we will be sending out the invitations probably within another week, maybe 10 days. So once we reconfirm everything with our AAB partners. Yeah. And then obviously the members of the team that presented, guys, you will definitely be invited. So we truly hope to see you all
guys
there.
will be
And you'll see each other for the first time face to face.
Yeah. So, and this is what's so cool about doing the, you know, extraordinary things, right? The extra things of like presenting something that's above and beyond what everybody else is doing, is you're automatically invited to apply. You're not invited to come yet, so don't get your hopes up yet, but you will be invited to apply. And the possibility, once you're invited to apply, is much more.
Yeah.
And you will be requested, if you have a faculty that will write you a letter of recommendation, that's even stronger. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right, so
that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the presentations.
Bye.
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining us
everyone.
today. Bye-bye. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Rafael and Luis, that you organized this wonderful meeting. So thank you for all the coordination and your hard work.
No problem. See you guys. Bye-bye.